good evening, and welcome to Motivational Monday. I'm your girl, Jackie O, and it seems like it has been forever since I have been on doing a Motivational Monday. So I missed you guys. I missed doing Motivational Monday. I hope y'all miss seeing me on as well. But again, thank you so much for joining us today. Y'all, we have a very good show in store for you. Very good information, much needed information that we need to hear. And we are super excited about it. And I'm not going to, keep on talking, but we do have a great show. And so I hope you all prepared. You guys can ask questions, you can make comments, and we will do our best to get to your questions as we are going through the show. Motivational Monday is all about inspiring women. We are about inspiring women to not only live your best life, but to live healthy and well lives. Listen, we can't do anything and help anyone else if we're not well ourselves and we're not healthy. So that's what we're all about here for Motivational Monday. And we bring to you our special guests from all over the world, literally from all over the world, and they share their expertise with us and different topics that we talk about. And so today we're going to be talking about young girls and children, sexual abuse, trafficking, motivation, affirmations, just all these really great things we're going to be talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my special guest on right now. And that is none other than Miss Angela Momon from Julie's Haven. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much. The board and team and I would like to say thank you so much for having us on your show to share the mission of Julie's Haven and our vision. We really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And let me tell you, I believe that you guys are doing a great work and a much needed work. We're going to hop right into this. And Angela, why don't you go ahead and share with us your bio? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have going on.
Yes. Well, Jackie, I come to Julie's Haven with 21 years of teaching experience. And over the years, I've seen a number of things that impact girls. And I'm like, that's interesting. Interesting. And I see sometimes the good and the bad. Unfortunately, I have taught, I teach math and I've taught in several countries. And again, the plight is the same no matter where you are. Girls are girls. We're all human.
Right.
And one of the things that I realize is that in the classroom, I am effective. However, there needs to be a little bit more to this. And there are many agencies out in our society that focus on girls. There truly are many out there.
Mhm.
One of the things that Julie's Haven wants to do, however, is to ensure that girls have an opportunity to heal. And that's where the information's there, the videos are there, the news is there. However, what I'm finding is the information on how to continue to heal and be aware of oneself is lacking. So the board and team and I, we come up with a few ideals to say, hey, the girls need this. They need to have a process, not to prevent abuse, not while they're being abused. There's a preventive side to this that I think many are forgetting.
Right. Oh, wow. That is good. Listen, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all of everything that you all are doing and all the information that you're going to share. And so we're going to hop right into this. And one thing I did notice as I was doing some research on my own and just, looking at everything that you all have to offer is that an alarming number, which was 60% of children who are sexually abused do not report it. I just think that that is such an alarming percentage of children that do not report. And so I know that you're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how that we can bring more awareness and do it to where our children will be comfortable with reporting what needs to be reported. I just kind of think back even on myself. Not too long ago in my adult life, I was in a domestic violence situation, and I knew how I felt. I felt the fear, I felt the shame, everything that I felt that came along with that. And then even knowing that people that were close to me did not really believe that that's what was happening, because they were like, oh no, he looks like the perfect person, but he was doing just what he was doing, you
Mhm.
know? And
Yes,
so as a adult, and how I felt, I could only imagine how children feel when they're in that type of a situation. And so, again, I know that we're going to talk about it, and I'm ready to hop right into the show. So, hey, let's go.
okay, thank you. Jacquie, just really quick to piggyback off of that, one of the things that we felt, many of us in society forget, children want to please. And
Mhm.
people that prey on children use that. So we're going to begin here. I'll share my screen.
Okay. And again, everybody that's tuning in, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight with us for Motivational Monday. Please share this video on your pages. So if you're watching us on Facebook, please share it to your page so that other people will be able to view this information that we're going to be providing tonight. Because again, it is very vital and we need to know. All right, Angela. Oh, maybe that's me. I
Okay, yeah,
need
that's
to add
yeah,
it.
okay. You know, I love it, technology. One of the goals of Julie's Haven is to inform, motivate, and inspire girls to develop their purpose and live for it. Today in our society, we have social media, many things the girls are comparing themselves, and they're taking the news. There's like, oh, it's on social media. It must be real. So one of the things that Julie's Haven wants to do, our team, is to inform girls of information that feeds their mind, body, and soul, not just the surface, but to actually tap into them. So that's one of our goals. And we want to motivate them to be the best that they can be. We're all different. We all have different experiences, various levels of knowledge. And we want to motivate our girls to reach out, to dig into themselves.
Okay.
And most of all, we want to inspire our girls. So let's go on. Our mission at Julie's Haven is to help abused girls to heal by discovering their purpose, passion, and power to begin or continue a positive healing journey. I know we can all read here, but I just feel it's important for me to share our mission. If you'll notice, we have a purpose, passion, and power. That's our concept that guides Julie's Haven.
Okay.
Okay. Our vision is that all girls learn to identify their purpose, discover their passion, and cultivate a sense of power, personal and global power. Now, if you notice here, Jacquie, we say all girls. So we're not just speaking of girls that have been physically or sexually abused. Our mission is to help girls that have been physically or sexually abused, but our vision is that all girls understand how to identify their purpose, okay, understand their passions and their power so that they don't become a statistic, a victim of abuse.
Yeah, that's good.
Excuse me. Here on the screen, you mentioned earlier there's 60% of students, girls, that's the teacher in me,
Mhm.
60% of victims of sexual abuse do not report it, okay? That's staggering here. And of that 40% that does report the abuse, take a look here. 82% of all sexual abuse victims under 18 are female.
Wow.
Okay, that is 82%.
Wow.
Okay, going on, we have 93% of the people who commit sexual assault against children are known by the child. Okay, that's crushing, that's heartbreaking. Okay, moving on, we talk about physical abuse with Julie's Haven because due to my research, I've noticed that a number of girls are experiencing physical violence, as you mentioned, as teenage girls in their dating relationship.
Yeah.
So 1 in 5 adolescents have experienced physical dating violence.
Mm.
Okay. And that's a staggering number, Jacquie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
That really
staggering number.
is.
We take our data from the Department of Justice, from the CDC, and from the United States Department of Health and Human Services. So when we're sharing this data here, we've researched it, we've taken the latest data, and we share it. But again, as you mentioned, Jacquie, this is not even the actual number, because if 60% is not reporting this, hey, so technically that number is higher. All
Yeah,
three of those stats are higher.
absolutely. Absolutely. And let me ask you this, because we probably know the answer to this, but some people may not. When we look at the statistics and we look at 1 in 5 adolescents have experienced physical dating violence,
Mhm.
and our kids are dating, seem like at a younger ages,
Yes.
like really young, and they're experiencing this. And is it because that maybe for those that are on the receiving end of the abuse, that they just have no self-worth or know that they're worthy of why they would stay in a relationship like that? Or is it something maybe they have seen and of why they stay there?
Well, Jackie, I can't really speak as to why a person stays with a relationship. Now, from my research, I've noticed that not all girls stay. They say they've experienced it. One of the things, Jackie, I believe that many individuals don't realize that we don't speak on certain topics. We think it's not happening. We don't think we need to let a young lady know that if her boyfriend or her partner hits her, that that's not healthy.
Right.
We assume a lot when it comes to children. We assume they understand the rights and wrongs and what they have to tolerate. And it's truly an assumption. I'm telling you, I've taught grades from 5th through 10th grade. It's an assumption.
Mm. So it sounds like we need to be educating them. Of course, it starts in the homes, but even for those that do not have the information in the homes, for their parents or guardians to teach them in the homes, it needs to be in the schools or somewhere where the children will be able to get this information.
I agree, Jackie. And that's what brings me into our next slide, a state of awareness,
Mhm.
that we need to be aware of it as a community, because we are a global community. We need to be aware of it and we need to speak out on those topics. And also the schools, the kids spend what, 7 to 8 hours a day in that environment. And their plates are very loaded with academics, but we've stepped away from the social aspects, the human side of the children, of
Mhm.
caring and nurturing for their souls. Because we're so pushing the academics that we forget that there's another side to a child and their education. Um,
Right.
so that brings us to, I think these statistics say that the girls need to learn to protect themselves, body, mind, and soul. Also, and that also it says, as a society, we need to speak out and speak up to help protect our girls.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. And not speak up and not just push it under the rug and think that, oh, it really, it doesn't matter. They don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Um, I think also building that self awareness gives girls power. It says, hey, I know who I am, I know what I'm about. But that brings, I'll go on to our next, that brings us to our next. Our philosophy with Julie's Haven is awareness protects. Okay. That awareness is not only dealing with sexual abuse, physical abuse, that's dealing with awareness of yourself, awareness of yourself as an individual. And one of the things that we're forgetting is we speak to the kids, but we speak to them, but we don't have dialogue, Jackie. Dialogue. The dialogue is continuous, is purposeful, that needs to be nonstop. Okay. We know many women, me, myself included, we sometimes flutter in our confidence, in our thought process, in our being. So just imagine being that young lady who's still kind of trying to figure it out. And unfortunately, they're trying to figure it out while they're looking at TikTok, while they're looking at Instagram, while they're looking at Facebook, while they're looking at Snapchat. They're still saying, oh, but who am I?
Yeah.
What am I about?
Yeah.
That's that side.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because there's just so much and there's so many influences that's around our children. And even with the awareness and just bringing awareness, I think that's where we really should step it up. Step
Yes.
it up as a community, step it up as the village that's helping to raise, our children, our nieces, our children's friends, all this whole community. What we need to really bring more awareness, because just like everything else is put out there before us, and they're really strong in their messages and what they're trying to promote, I feel that we should do the exact same thing when it comes to awareness for these type of issues that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Jackie, awareness stems from many things. It stems from mind, body, soul, education, finances, your safety, just being aware while you're out. And it covers many areas. But for Julie's Havens, we use Awareness Protect as our philosophy to guide our programs. We use it to say, this is how we develop our workshops. How can you be aware? And it correlates with we have a passion, a purpose, passion, power program, a workshop. And we also have an information counseling and arts workshop that we use. And we guide those workshops with the philosophy behind that awareness does protect. If you are aware as a being, you say, hey, no, that's not for me. Those little triggers that come in our mind, what did that mean?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Yeah.
I know this is not right, because I know because I'm cognizant of what is and what is not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We gloss over the topic of abuse, sexual assault, physical abuse. We gloss over those topics because they are uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
Jackie, I'm going to say this: nothing is more uncomfortable than having your child or someone you love come to you and say, hey, this happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing more is uncomfortable because the shoe is now in your ballpark, in your family. And most times we're not aware of this. Sure, we all know it. I'm not claiming anyone is ignorant. I'm not by any means saying parents don't talk to their children. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is we need to teach our girls that they are more than a commodity. Okay. They have value. We need to teach them how to identify what they connect to. Okay. We need to teach them how to identify their likes and dislikes. I'm not talking about I like vanilla ice cream. That's not what I'm talking about here.
Right.
I'm talking about teaching our girls, our daughters, our nieces, our babies to say, I don't even like to be spoken to like that. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be spoken to like that. I do not have to be rude. I know that I should not be spoke to like this. Okay.
Exactly.
I have boundaries here. So that is what I mean. They do not have to please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have to teach our girls, you do not have to please. Okay. You have to be respected. You have to respect others. But when a person does not mean you well, you have to be aware of that.
Yes. Yes. And I like how you talked about setting those boundaries, setting the boundaries, and even in as much as how someone speaks to you and their tone of how they speaks to you. And you should be verbal enough to be like, no, I don't want that, because I also believe that if you allow that to continue to happen, then of course the people are going to continue, or the person is going to continue to step over that boundary and continue to do it because you're allowing them to do it. So I really like how you talked about boundaries, because boundaries are very, very important.
Yes. Yes, Jackie. Um, Awareness Protects encourages parents, guardians, and family to understand that abuse can happen to girls they love. Because again, there's a stats where people don't believe it. You can look and dig, and there's information all over that did not happen. Also, it helps, I think it calls for parents to understand how to help the girls they love continue to heal or begin that healing process if they have been physically or sexually abused. Oftentimes, Jackie, many people don't have access, and they don't feel, they're embarrassed, they're ashamed. And many people don't understand that that's a trauma that carries on throughout that individual's life if help isn't received for that trauma. Okay. So Awareness Protects encourages parents to understand that there's strategies they need to set in place to protect the girl they love.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good that you said that too, about how if it's not dealt with as early on in their earlier years how they carry that because they're not healed. And so then, we look at people and sometimes you try to figure out, "Oh, why are they doing this? Why do they act like this?" Well, it sounds like it could be from trauma that they've experienced in their younger years that was not addressed and they were not healed from. Would you say that to be a true statement?
Jackie, the information and research shows that oftentimes when girls are abused, and it may have stopped, often they blame themselves.
Mhm.
Often they turn to drug or alcohol, more promiscuous behavior, more self-inflicting harm. The stats we just left, May was Mental Awareness Health Month, and the numbers are staggering. As you that from girls that have been hurt, and maybe it didn't go as far, maybe it didn't continue as long, maybe it was for many instances. However, the lack of resources for counseling is very hard for many families, especially families insurance. They don't cover enough of the counseling. They feel like, oh, sure, 2 sessions is enough. You should be okay. Ta-da, it stopped. That is not the case. Okay. So one of the things that Julie's Haven, we have different phases. One of our goals, Jackie, is to have a network of counselors. There are many counselors out in our world that would volunteer for this, that have dealt with trauma. We want to have that network of counselors that girls can network with. There's many laws and stipulations, so it has to be state by state. So it's a phase that we're going to work towards. But to have that access to counseling, it's very important. And again, the school guidance counselor does counsel the girls, but 20 minutes a week does not help that journey, that healing journey begin. It
Yeah.
does not. Um, Again, 3 sessions does not help that healing journey.
Yeah.
There's layers and layers that has to be removed for that girl to even open up to talk about her abuse, her hurt. And then once that onion is peeled back, I like to call it,
Mhm.
then she needs to learn strategies and put things in place that helps her cope.
Yeah.
So it is a staggering. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the resources aren't put into this, but that's one of our goals at Julie's Haven. We there are some agencies out there. Please, I'm not taking away from those agencies, but when the numbers are so high, we're talking about girls
Mhm.
and adult women that finally say, "Hey, I need help."
Yeah.
Okay, so there are agencies out there, but there has to be more.
Yeah. I totally agree. I agree. That's good.
Awareness protects, encourages young girls to treasure their uniqueness, okay? Make clear and vocal choices to herself and her peers. Awareness protects, encourages the girls to embrace their own individual worth in a manner that is creative to themselves and the world, okay? This is very important, Jackie, because hey, I love social media. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm not trying to minimize, I'm not trying to say, oh, it's just bad, bad, bad.
Right.
Again, one of the things that I tell the parents when I meet with some parents is just as much as social media is pouring to your young lady, you need to be pouring into. That's your competition, okay? So you need to remember that you have to pour into them because everything that's being poured into them may not be in alignment with your family values and your belief system. So you have to be cognizant of what's being poured into your girls. So that means you pour into them just as much as someone else is.
Exactly.
And again, parents love their children. This is not what Julie's Haven's saying. We understand that's a whole nother job, parenting, but we have to become more proactive. And I'm speaking as a whole, that more proactive about pouring into our girls a direct message.
Exactly.
So one of the things that Awareness Protects does also is we want girls to learn how to develop inner and outer strategies, life strategies that protect them sexually, and also it helps them learn their self-discovery as they journey through life from teens to adults.
Okay.
I pause there because I know once I get going, I get going.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good.
This is our philosophy in regards to what does awareness protect means to the girl? Because you can go all day long, and we know how their minds, they see it, they don't see it, but we do distribute stickers. We do um, I feel that you just give it to the girls. You're like, hey, put this on your notebook. Hey, put this on a backpack, you know? And they go, oh, yes, I am aware, Miss Moment. I am aware. But we want them, when you think of purpose, Jackie, what do you think when you see the word purpose?
When I see the word purpose, I think of really knowing who you are, and knowing what you are put on this earth to do is what I see as purpose in a
Right.
nutshell.
Right. And I have a question. Thank you. I love that's my response also, Jackie. But I'm not asking for a number here, but we can just go, uh-huh. We know adults who don't truly understand their purpose and know their purpose, right?
Right.
So when we say purpose, that's not what we're speaking of, because that's going to come later. Okay. We
Mhm.
want girls to understand how they uniquely identify themselves. That's their purpose. We don't expect a 12-year-old to know she wants to be a surgeon or a doctor, or she's meant to do crusades and missions. That's not what we mean at Julie's Haven. We want them to know how they uniquely identify themselves. That's their purpose right now. That's what we teach the girls. Meaning what they love about themselves, what they don't like about themselves, what they like about themselves, how do they like that person. Really think about how someone treats you. That's what connecting their purpose, their tolerance level, their boundaries. That's what we call purpose here. Because Jackie, if you know your purpose, that doesn't mean it will not happen. Doesn't mean it cannot happen. That's not what I'm saying.
Mhm.
The essence of you stands up for you. And even if you are abused, you will speak up sooner than later. Again, that's just not always. I'm saying more than likely. Okay, nothing is definitive here. I'm just saying you know what you're about. You know where you know, hey, I love that I can speak up and share my thoughts and feelings. I love that about me.
Yeah.
I see that I'm a leader.
Hmm. Yeah. And I like to how you broke that down of how a young person would see purpose
Yes.
versus us as adults, and how even as a young person, well, I know like for us with Jackie O, we're always talking about be your unique self because no one
Mhm.
else has your DNA. You
Yes.
are that, there's only one of you. And
Yes.
so I think it's very important what you guys are doing at Julie's Haven in reference to purpose, that you're pouring that into these young girls early on so that again, social media is not all bad because there are some good things with social media, but the parts where they compare themselves and they're seeing other things that are just not real, they need to know that, okay, no, listen, I'm my own unique self. So I love how you guys are doing that
Yes.
early on, pouring that into them so that they do know that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like God knew me before I was in my mother's womb,
Yes.
and no one is like me. No one looks like me. No one acts like me. I am me. So I like that part with the purpose.
So yes, Jackie, but it has to be purposeful. It has to be thought about continually. It
Continue.
has to be identified with. You have to say, hey, you have to keep coming back to it, affirming yourself. Okay. And that's where our family, if you notice, we speak about the family, friends, and guardians also having a part in the child's life. It's so important. I'll go back there in a minute. When we talk about the passion, so our 3Ps program is purpose, passion, and power. Our passion side of our program says what moves you to act on what you value in yourself. So what moves you? Okay. Not you. It may be different in November than it is in February.
Mhm.
However, you realize that, hey, this takes me here. This moves me. This says, excuse me, I know who I am. I can act on this. Okay. Today, right now, June 6th, I know. Okay. It may be different tomorrow, but I connected to it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Then that brings us to the power. When you have been abused, when you've been physically or sexually abused, you need to know that you have the power to continue. You need to know that you can go on. You can say, hey, I'm okay. But sometimes, again, without the counseling, that's a challenge to you. But we want girls to understand, not only does this not only apply to girls that have been abused, because again, Jacquie, Julie's Havens is twofold.
Mhm.
We work with girls. We want them to have a healing process to begin that healing journey. And then if you realize, remember, our vision is that all girls understand their purpose,
Right.
passion, and power. So it's just not about girls who have been physically or sexually abused. It's about all girls, Jacquie, because these are all our girls. They're ours, you know? And
Mhm.
you have to be aware to protect yourself. You
Right.
have to understand what you're about. That does not mean, by no means am I saying it's the girl's fault because she wasn't aware. That's not what Julie's Haven
Right.
is saying. I'm saying that if abuse has happened, you know that you can continue because you have a purpose. You have, it moves your passion and it stirs your power. That's what we're saying. In addition to saying that, we're saying that our population, again, I can tell you, and I have many friends that are educators, and
Mhm.
I that say we have to teach them to understand how unique they are, how amazing they are.
Yeah. 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 That's so good. And that is just, there's a lot of key things, but I feel that that is really key, that they know who they are, and that they know that they are worthy and that they are amazing. It is very important that they know that. So I love it.
Yes.
I love your mom.
Jacquie, we have one of our posts is, don't tell your girl how special she is after, don't let a predator be the first person to tell your daughter she's amazing, or your niece, or your cousin, or this little girl up the street. Don't let someone else be that first to tell her that.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's, you know, we're quick to say, oh, what was your grade on your Spanish test? Oh, you didn't pick up the laundry. Oh, the dishes are not put up. Again, those are all valid. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
However, parenting needs to be it needs to be a direct and purposeful, to say, to affirm her, affirm her, affirm her, affirm her, affirm her.
Mhm. I totally, I totally agree. And that was a good example that you used, because I still have teenager here in the house.
Mhm.
With just the chores. And so, yes, when I'm talking to her, like, yes, you should have did this. However, I still follow it up, like you said,
Yes,
with an affirmation that
yes,
you are amazing, you're beautiful, I love you. So I always make sure that I do follow that up with an affirmation,
yes.
and I think that that's important.
There are many parents. Parents are amazing. Like they're absolutely amazing. Like it's every parent should sometimes just go like this in the back and just go, "Phew, we made it through another day."
We,
So again, this is not to chip away at parents. This is let parents, this is bringing it, as you say, take action. This is just
yeah.
making us aware. Whether we have girls that are going to college, because the data is out there, they're the stories are unbelievable.
Mhm.
Even you think they're in college, that, oh, they can't be preyed upon. Yes, unfortunately they can. They go away to the military. Oh, they are preyed upon. There's many cases,
Yeah.
okay, unfortunately, where our girls have been taken advantage of. They leave, they in the churches, our girls are preyed upon. So there are many places where our girls should feel safe, but they're preyed upon.
Mhm.
So again, we're just trying to get that message out there that as a whole, as a community, we need to be watching, because sometimes if we think something's not right, Jacquie, most times it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So as I stated, we have the 3Ps program, which is deals with purpose, passion, and power. Again, we want our girls to identify what makes them unique. Um, the passion side is connect their purpose to what moves them to action. Okay. What moves you? Leadership, your character, what moves you? Okay. Again, they're still trying to understand it. And that's one of the things what our workshop will do, to give them some pointers, some tips, some information to help them identify what moves them, and the power, their ability to heal and to serve our community, because we are a global community. We're a society. Um, if we looked out a little bit, we need, not saying that we don't, but I feel that as a society, as a community, we need to realize that we are all responsible for these little girls.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And that brings us to our next program, which is information counseling and art therapy. We disseminate information as a nonprofit. We send out information. Uh, Sometimes we have partners with certain agencies that I won't name, but there are agencies that work with protecting victims of abuse.
Mhm.
We haven't reached the counseling section point of our program yet, but again, we are working towards being able to offer girls counseling, girls that are just reaching out to Julie's Haven. One of our goals is to have camps, Jacquie,
Mhm.
where we offer that, because most times girls that have been victims of abuse have lost that ability to smile and laugh and be youthful, you know? So one of our goals at Julie's Haven is one of our phases is to have camp sessions where the girls are offered counseling, whole group, and also sometimes, Jacquie, it's just nice to know that you're not alone.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just nice to know that I am not the black speck on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, it happened to others, and we can still go on and push on.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Let me ask you something, Angela, in reference to the counseling. So I know you guys are not offering it yet, but you're able, if someone comes to you, you're able to refer them out to your network of people.
In the state of Georgia, we can actually refer them to an actual counselor, because a lot of counselors are not multi-licensed. So
Mhm.
you have to be, there's a lot of little tricks there in the bag. But if they're in the state of Georgia, we can refer them to someone currently, and she works really well, whether they have insurance or she does pro bono work for us.
Mhm.
And then also, we do have agencies that we can refer to. There are some agencies out there where domestic violence agencies, RAIN, certain agencies that will work with the girls and talk with them on the phone. Yes, we do have that up on our website, and we make it known that there is help out there, immediate help.
Okay. That's good to know.
Mhm. And we also feel that art therapy, which is in the form of journaling and doodling, they love it. I don't care if they're in 11th grade and just finished a calculus test or an AP2 science test. We feel that art is a form of healing, and there's a lot of research out that shows that art therapy does help individuals channel that trauma and to begin to heal through art. It's a healing aspect. So we are working with some universities where we can offer the art programs, even at our workshops.
Okay. I like that. Hey, listen, I'm in my 50s and I still like to doodle.
Yes, exactly, Jacquie.
I like to doodle. So, yeah, I like that. And I think that, and as you stated, journaling, all of those are some very good tools
Yes,
to use.
yes. Jacquie, we have what we call Julie's Haven Unique Girl. So again, we have the Julie's Haven side, but the unique girl, because every girl that attends one of our workshops, that eventually attends a camp session with us, are unique girls. And at the Unique Girl blog, what we're going to do is engage in messages that speaks their language, that's written in the voice that they like and understand, but
Mhm.
that hits topics that they write in about, that they're concerned about, that's real. It's also going to be a platform where girls can share their successes, okay, and
Mhm.
where they can share their hurts and pains. Um, so the Unique Girl blog is going to be kind of that form where she says, "Oh, she was talking to me today. Oh, one of our girls over in Kazakhstan wrote in and said, I found this out, this happened to me." Again, they need a platform, Jacquie. They need a platform where they don't feel like they're the victims. They need a platform to encourage each other. They are each other's greatest cheerleaders. They rally around each other and they love each other. They are amazing when each other's going through some things that they can identify with and connect with.
That's good.
And that brings us to the no longer silent actions. The topic of your show is no longer silent. Okay. And I just feel I've talked at everyone here today, the audience, but I want us to be aware of how we can no longer be silent as individuals in our community. I would like to say we need to purposefully talk to our girls, Okay, because we all know how they are. Oh, mom, I know. Oh, dad, I know. Oh, I got it. I know, I know, I know. I know, don't talk to strangers, stranger danger. They say that. Okay. They say that. Okay. But you know what? Don't let them shut you down. You keep talking to them. And then also talk with your girls. Okay. Is there something that made you uncomfortable? You don't have to make it this, it could be while we're cutting up carrots, talk with them, dialogue with them about how they're feeling about themselves. They will tell a lot when it's not a pressure conversation. Oh, not sit down, let's talk. No, make it informal. So I want our parents, I truly, truly challenge us to purposely talk to our girls and with our girls.
Yeah.
And next, I would like to say, if as a community we can dialogue about the plight of girls, Jacquie, our girls are not commodities. It's okay for them to want to be beautiful. It's okay for them to want to feel pretty. That's not what I'm talking about here. But what I'm talking about, most times, our girls are taught to connect their value in their beauty. Our girls are not commodities.
That's
It
right.
doesn't matter. They're beautiful because they are created by God.
That's
And I think as a that we need to start dialoguing about our girls, our plight of our girls. We need to stop saying, oh, this is not happening. Jacquie, most times people unfortunately become aware of the situation when it impacts their family or their someone they love or
Mm-hmm.
their household. We need that dialogue before this, not after the fact, okay? Because it's real. If you do any searches in the news, it's real. You don't even have to look far, honey. You don't even have to set the parameters up. It's just going to pop up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That's
Another thing is I challenge us to say share the information with others, okay? Share that information with others that have girls who need to be informed and protected. We assume people should know, but if you're working two jobs, you're in school, your plate is heavy, okay? It doesn't mean you don't care about your babies or your niece or nephew, excuse me, your nieces, even the boys are being hurt nowadays.
yeah.
But share that information. We oh, another story and we click off of it. Oh, another video, we click off of it, but we're quick to share, and there's nothing wrong with sharing. But
Mm-hmm.
let's really start sharing some information
Mm-hmm.
that protects our girls. Another thing is volunteer and support an agency that motivates and empowers young girls. There are many agencies out there. Okay, there are many agencies out there that are trying to inspire girls. Look for one that aligns with your belief system and what you believe that empowers girls. You can volunteer from making some calls for them, doing some, it's amazing. You can even, when I say support, Jacquie, $10 from 100 people goes a long way for a nonprofit. Okay.
Yeah.
So even support, not even monetary wise, you can support by, hey, saying, hey, I saw this great website that does this for girls and
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da. But volunteer and support these agencies because they're imperative to our girls. They really are,
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
safety of our girls.
Yeah, that's true. And it's very important to do that, to volunteer, support, share, all of the things that you listed, the actions that you talked about is very, very crucial and very vital to our young girls. And even with the volunteering, I know that when my daughters had a mobile spa business, we did a lot of volunteer work.
Mhm.
We volunteered with foster care agencies,
Mhm.
and we did one with a children's home. And it was just so amazing to be able to go in there, offer spa services to these girls. And we did it on a monthly basis, that we would go in and that we would do that with them. And you could just that moment, that those girls, they felt love, they felt the support,
Yes,
because here they are in this situation. But it also was for our girls to see
yes,
too, that how blessed that you are, that
yes,
you're not and we didn't know exactly why they were in these children's homes, but we know that it was an unfortunate situation of why
yes,
they were. So, and they are there. But, so I feel that it's good all the way around. When
yes,
you volunteering as what you're giving and the person that's
yes.
receiving. You know what I'm saying? It's just a reward all the
Yes,
way around
yes,
for
Jackie. Yes. And 1 hour a month from 20 people. Think
Mhm.
about that time that an agency is receiving.
Yeah,
Um, and there's many agencies out there that welcome it. And now that the COVID things are changing, they're welcoming you into their environment. And
mhm,
again, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you can help with, even if you can't and you don't want to go in to that facility.
correct, correct. And that goes into how we can help you, because you're right. If you can, or if you're not in the state or the city, you're not in the state of Georgia, and the city that you all are in, you still can support. You can support
Yes.
monetarily. You can send in kind gifts.
Yes.
So tell us how we can support you.
Well, currently we have 6 phases of Julie's Haven, and I do believe it, Jackie, it's going to happen. We're currently in our virtual phase and our workshop phase. We have 2 workshops happening at the end of June. I'm so excited. The 3Ps workshop, it will be our first workshop, June 27th and June 28th, where there's a counselor coming in speaking with our girls. Not these girls, I don't know if they've been abused or not. That's not what it's about. It's about them understanding their uniqueness. So
Yeah.
that's what this is about. We currently would like if individuals could join us here at phase one. How do you join us at phase one? Is go to the Julie's Haven Facebook page, our Instagram page, and follow us and share. If we post something, again, there's that part where you disseminate that information to others. We give a lot of stats. We talk about signs of grooming. We share websites that have a lot more monetary means than Julie's Haven. So they have a lot more information that they're offering for free that share those posts. That's what we want. We want this information to be just filtrated into the homes,
Yeah.
Jackie. This is what we want. We want our girls to be protected. We want our girls to understand that they deserve to be protected. Okay, this is not just in the United States. This is worldwide where our girls are falling into the hands of hurt. Okay, like I said, I have friends all over the world, and I read the newspapers, and I see what's going on and the stories in the educational system, not because of the schools themselves, but the girls that we see whose is held down in her desk today. Something happened. You feel it. Something's going on. Sometimes it's not as deep as that, but we know. So I would like for individuals to join Julie's Haven and just taking those steps of action and speaking up. Okay. Uh, we have another phase, which is our counseling program and more extensive workshops besides in Georgia. We eventually, Jackie, we will have a safe haven. Sometimes girls need to be removed from a situation, not tomorrow, not in 3 days, immediately. Okay, they need to be removed. Okay, because of whatever circumstances, we're going to have a safe haven spot, and this is a spot where she's not taken care of. She's not put in a foster care environment where their kids are running around. If you're hurting in pain, you don't want to hear a baby going why, why, why. You want that environment to be calming, soothing. So we're going to have a safe haven spot and we're hoping to have those nationally, where if a girl needs to be removed, she can come somewhere. Our team is vetted. Our team understands trauma. Our teams are safe. And that's one of our goals in our phases. And then again, those mini camp sessions. Okay.
Okay.
And then eventually a large farm. Okay. There's lots of farms out here, but we're hoping to have a farm that brings the girls that they can come for a couple of days and they can grow, plant, dig in the dirt, swim, or they can just sit there and read their book over their face and then have counseling sessions, healing sessions, do some art therapy. So that's our next phase. And then again, to partner with national agencies that work with girls. Okay. And international agencies. So again, right now we're in phase one. So if everyone watching can just take that action. And again, if you're not following Julie's Haven, follow us, share that information. Okay. I challenge individuals, just as you share something that is funny, because it's nice to laugh,
Mhm.
share something that is soul searching into the essence of individuals.
Yes. And that could potentially save a life.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And bring awareness to a parent, an auntie, a sister, a brother, or a child. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it. So, for those of you that are watching, we didn't have any questions or comments, but for those of you that are watching, please be sure that you follow Julie's Haven on Facebook and social. I'm sorry, Facebook and Instagram. And then also go to their website, julieshaven.org, correct?
Yes, Jackie, yes.
julieshaven.org. Go to their website and look around and see how you can support, donate, because,
Good t-shirt.
do a t-shirt, y'all go on and let's support and help bring awareness, because this was some very, very good information tonight that Angela shared about not only Julie's Haven, but the just what's going on with our girls, that we need to know. And again, the number one thing that we talked about that has been in pretty much every sentence almost is awareness.
Yes.
There has to be awareness. We have to bring awareness, and we can do our part. And it doesn't cost us anything to do our part.
Yes.
Just, as Angela was saying, sharing posts that they put, sharing other posts from other agencies, so
Yes.
we can bring awareness to what is going on.
Yes.
Yep, yep, yep. All right, Angela, do you have any? Uh,
No,
all right, is
Jackie,
that
the
it?
the board and team, we thank you so much for sharing your platform so that we can get the word out about Julie's Haven and more importantly about the need to protect our girls. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again so, so much for being here. And Angela, if you can just leave us with one small word that you would like to leave the audience as we close on tonight.
Awareness protects.
Mhm.
Even as an adult woman, awareness does protect. As an adult male, awareness does protect. For a young man, awareness does protect. And for that young girl, awareness does protect.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, we talked about young girls tonight because this is what Julie's Haven works
Yes.
with. But we do know that our young men go through the same
Yes.
thing. Um,
Yes.
and so, bringing awareness for them too, because they matter just
Yes.
as much. But tonight, I just don't want y'all to think, oh my goodness, they're just talking about the girls. Julie's Haven is for girls. And so we were talking about that. But our young men and our young boys, they matter as well.
They're just as precious and they deserve to be protected also.
Absolutely. They deserve to be protected. So, guys, again, thank you so much. Thank you, Cammie, so much for tuning in on tonight. We're glad that you enjoyed the show. And y'all, please, we just cannot stress enough to follow Julie's Haven, to see what they're all about, see how you can support them. What can you do to support them? It's very important. I don't want to keep saying about donating money or things like that, but that's how things grow. That's how you move. That's how you're able to get to these next phases. And so, we ask that you guys really support them. I know we'll be supporting you guys.
Thank
So
you, Jackie.
we are all about supporting, especially when you're doing good.
Yes.
We're all about supporting and planting seeds in good soil. And I do believe that Julie's Haven is great soil.
Thank you.
Great soil for us to plant seeds into. So, guys, again, thank y'all so much. We will see y'all next month. Next month. Again, it just feels like I've been gone so long, but we'll see you next month. The first Monday of every month, we have
Yes.
Motivational Monday with me, your girl Jackie O, and a special guest. And so until then, I pray that you all will have an amazing rest of your week, an amazing rest of your month. Y'all be safe out there, be safe. Continue to be vigilant, aware of your surroundings, and pray. Pray, pray, pray. Pray for our nation, pray for our communities, and let's pray for one another. All right, guys. So we'll see you next month. Good night.